Welcome to the ITSP Magazine Podcast Network, a modern, innovative multimedia platform, broadcasting ideas and connecting minds. Every company has a story to tell, from the small startup to the large enterprise, and everything in between. This is one of them. We hope you enjoy this brand story conversation.
And here we are, we're ready for another 7 minutes on ITSP Magazine with a new short brand story. Today I'm joined by Travis Howerton, CEO and co-founder of RegScale, a company bringing to life a continuous controls monitoring platform designed to accelerate GRC outcomes at a lower cost by efficiently bridging security, risk, and compliance, a space that I love. Travis, I'm thrilled to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Sean. We're excited to be here.
Good stuff. So let's start with, GRC and that whole space has been around for a while. What prompted you to tackle this with the founding of a new company? What was the core problem you're looking to solve here?
Yeah, it's a problem we actually get quite a bit, where people ask, why did you start with a platform? What are the most boring spaces in the world, which is compliance, right? But we were just kind of in the 2014, 2015 timeframe looking at what's going to change in the world of compliance going forward. And so people had existing GRC tools, but when you look at a cloud native world in 2030, where everything's going to be cloud, increasingly ephemeral, serverless, these legacy tools just aren't built for that. At the same time, when you look at the growing regulatory burden, what I call the cyber Oprah effect, which is every day there's a new framework we're dealing with. CMMC, the European laws, privacy. So the scope is just growing, and Moore's Law was going to continue unabated. And so as a former sort of national security practitioner who's used most of the big legacy GRC tools, we were just looking at it going, whose GRC program is built to basically hit a moving target at twice the scope, at 4 to 8 times the speed. And we couldn't find anybody who was built for that. And so we thought that's when we got the idea for continuous controls monitoring and doing something different.
And I'm excited to get into it because looking back over time, very resource intensive, and a lot of data that is not always up to date and accurate, and maybe biased depending on who provides the information at some points. Yeah. So I like this idea of embedded continuous monitoring, and I'm probably not doing it justice. So talk to me a bit about how you approach the problem with a solution that brings things to a proactive measure that it can be continuous.
Sure. So we just started by doing something technically very, very different. And so the outcomes are the same. We're not changing GRC outcomes because they're the right outcomes. You want to be compliant. You want to manage your risk. You want to govern your program well. We just wanted to do it in a way that's more technology forward and that was more automated. Because to your point, most of these things are just insanely manual. And so for us, it starts with a foundation of compliance as code. So getting out of static Word and Excel documents that are out of date the moment they're written to something that's machine writable, machine readable, that's constantly kept up to date. Then we want to wrap it in over 1,000 APIs and a graph so it can communicate with the outside world. Why make machines go update all this? Why make humans go update all this paperwork? Let's just let the machines attest to their own state. Then let's layer AI on top of that so we can look at all this data coming in at speed and say, what should we do? Where should we focus our humans to get the best risk outcomes and getting them out of having to be human gophers, where they're out chasing down information, trying to collect evidence, writing control statements. We can use AI and those things for that. And so that's what we set out to do. And then we wanted to bridge the worlds of security, risk, and compliance for the first time. So whether you're getting your controls from a regulation, whether you've got policies that are driving operational controls you need to run your business, or whether your controls come from risk programs where you're modeling your assets against the threats they're exposed to, figuring out what risk you have, and then putting controls in place. At the end of the day, you've got a set of controls that are mission critical to your business. How do you make sure they're always running, always up to date, effective, and self-documenting? That's what we do in continuous controls monitoring that's different from GRC. So same outcomes, just dramatically different technology.
And talk to me about transparency and reporting, because those are big parts, right? Internally, what are we doing, and are we doing it in line with our standards or ethics or the way we run our business? And then externally, do we do it in line with the SOC 2s or HIPAAs or whatever else we have to abide by?
Yeah, so there's sort of a life cycle you go through, and we automate every step of it. And it starts with your attestation. And it doesn't matter whether you're making an attestation to your board or to a regulator. You're saying, here's what we're doing to meet this control. Then you've got to collect evidence to prove you're doing it, because nobody believes you in this world. And then you've got to assess it and say, is this fair and reasonable? And then you're going to have problems, so you got to fix them. And then every step of the way, you're making risk-based decisions about what you will or won't do, what you can afford, what the technology will allow. And then as you make those decisions, those governance steps need to be traceable for regulatory, internal audit, and other purposes. So we just try to provide best-in-class automation and tooling at every one of those steps that just pulls time, money, and pain out of the process.
And I'm curious, the outcomes you said are the same, right? You're working toward the same goal.
Yep.
I would imagine it was certainly the technology and the processes change. Does the communication change with folks as well? Moving from GRC to CCM?
It used to be we'd manage all this stuff in these big documents and Excel spreadsheets. Then the world of ITIL came along, and then the world of security operations centers and real-time incident response came along. What we try to do is thread all those things together. So we plug and play with all the scanners and hyperscalers. We update your documentation in real time. We assign tickets to engineers to fix it in Jira or ServiceNow, or pick an ITIL tool, and we keep all that traceable in real time with automation. So the work hasn't really changed. We're just trying to break down the silos between them and use automation to get rid of the painful handoffs that you used to see between all these things and all the heavy manual entry that went into it. So we want to give auditors their weekends back, make it easier on IT professionals to modernize, and just get rid of the pain of these legacy GRC tools.
Fantastic. Well, Travis, thank you for joining me, helping customers eliminate that pain. And that's 7 minutes here on ITSP Magazine. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and that you will come back for more brand stories on ITSP Magazine. If you want to share your company's brand story, go to itspmagazine.com and explore our advertising options to learn more. Remember to share this podcast with your friends, family, and colleagues, and stay tuned for more brand stories as we continue our journey toward redefining cybersecurity, technology, and society.